Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second installment of the Hejrino talk series. We're here with Mr. Ali Toosi, who took a route from Iran to Italy, and a dear immigrant that joins us for the second installment of our videos. And Mr. Ali Toosi, please be kind and give us a introduction of yourself. Okay, much appreciate that.
Hi everybody, I'm very pleased to be in this interview with Hejrino. It's very nice to give my advice and share my experience on all of this road that I have passed and maybe help you to have this experience in future.
Of course. So right into the questions, we don't want to waste any time. The first question is that we want to know a background of yourself and the decision, the reason of this immigration. We want to know what did you lack in Iran that you decided and led to this immigration. We want to know that.
Like there are many reasons involved with one person's immigration. For me, I wanted to gain new experience. I wanted to live an independent life. I wanted to experience a new culture. I wanted to live in a new environment. So I decided to see where I can go, and university ranking was also one of the other reasons that I decided to choose other countries. I saw in Iran we have only 3-4 good universities in which you can enter with a very difficult hard exam, but other universities, other countries give you this opportunity to study a little bit easier, not to overcome a very hard difficult exam like the concours. So I went toward this road.
That's really good. So you were seeking new routes and new answers. Is that right? New experiences?
Yeah.
Of course. So, as you know, many people these days in Iran tend to also immigrate, and one of their main choices is also Italy. So, we wanted to know what were the first steps in this immigration process, and how long did it take, and what did it cost you? It was hard or not? You want to give our audience the information about that?
Yeah, like everybody else, at the first step, I thought, okay, I decide I want to go out of the country. What should I do? I started to surf the net, to read in Telegram channels. What should I do? How should I start? And where should I start? Because it's a very difficult and very big road to go alone. You cannot imagine how many universities exist in the world that you can study. So I started to surf the net. On the net, I found some options. I talked with some experts, some friends actually. In the period that I was studying English, they gave me the suggestions like Italy was one of the best opportunities that they put in front of me. These different cities in the Italy were very interesting for me. Milan with its University of Politecnico, which is one of the best in its own, is in the 10th, one of the 10th in the universities of the Rome was one of the other options that I had, Piacenza, Bologna, but among all of them, I was seeing the city of fashion, of course, and I went toward this. The visa process was a little bit challenging for me. Taking an appointment from the embassy of Italy is one of the most difficult things that you will face during this procedure. But nowadays, I think it became a little bit easier. People can help. What else I can give to you is about the paperwork, especially for the boys. The boys who want to go outside the country, they have the military service, which is obligatory. Making the paperwork will take you an ages. The cost is not important. It's not a lot, but anyway, you have to pay let's say 40 million tomans to get rid of this obligatory military service. Then you have to pay some other cost for having your degree, diploma, bachelor in hand, and this was a summary of all of them.
Of course. So, can you tell us how much the whole immigration process took in terms of time? Like, how much time did it generally take?
From the day I decided to immigrate, I would say roughly 1 year, 1.5 year.
That is really good. Thank you for your dear information. The next chain of questions that we want to hear is the motivation that you had. There's a question is that what made you do this experience? What was the reason? I know you wanted to experience new things. But what was lacking in Iran? And now that you have immigrated, is it really what you expected, or you have been overwhelmed, or did you encounter unexpected terms?
Yeah, aside what I have told before about the experience culture and the independency life, one of the most biggest important part that I see in the young people that they don't have money. Staying in Iran, working, if you don't know people to be working in good companies, or your father doesn't have money, you cannot start the business on your own.
Of course.
The economical situation I'm talking about, the
Yeah.
economical situation is going to be destroyed. Like I was saying, I cannot have a future in Iran. I cannot buy myself a house, a car, cannot like grow up my children. So I foreseen for the future how is my new generation, my kids gonna, where they gonna grow, and where I'm gonna be myself, where I gonna have this very calm life without running from the 6 of the morning till 10 p.m. in the night. It was like different countries, different options, but I chose here as this economic is much better than our own.
Yeah, much better actually in terms of economy, but it's not comparable really.
Yeah, I say thanks to the God, but it's good. I can manage my life and my wife's life with one salary only. I bought the house already. I bought the car. I'm going to buy the house. The government, the banks help you to grow, to live easier. You don't need to work till 10 p.m. You start the work at 8 and you finish at 5. At 6, then you go for your own. You go outside, you go walk by the lake, you go walk by the sea or the mountain.
Congratulations on such a beautiful life, but that is not really much achievable in Iran. So, congratulations for the immigration process. One other question that here comes that many people have to ask themselves after immigration is that if you go back in time, would you still make the same decision? If yes, would you mind changing the country, or no, you think you made the best absolute choice in terms of immigration and the destination you chose?
Italy was an easier country to immigrate to in terms of money. They support people with their bonuses, with the burst of study, and this like helped me a lot to arrive to this country. But as any other people, I was thinking that Italy is a bridge for me. I come here, I take my master degree, then I go away, then I go to Canada, I don't know, Netherlands, America. But the situation changed. I came here, I started like my experience got much more. I started to see my friends who were going to Canada, we were going to America, we were going to Netherlands. I have a lot of friends in different parts of the world who were here. And when I talk with them, I understand, no, the other countries are not for me. I cannot be living in a country which is minus 20 degrees. So I don't go to other countries which are like this, or the ones who don't have the sun. Here Italy is rich in culture, in nature, in sun, and I don't know, it's kind of heaven. It has everything within itself.
Oh,
And if I go back, I will choose again the same place. Like I was in Milan, the city of mode, but I came a little bit further from Milan, like 60 kilometers toward north, and I found a piece of small paradise here, like the mountain lake, and I enjoy my life every day. I think yes, the answer is yes. I will come back again in the same place.
of course, congratulations. That's really what most people want these days, but we hope that it becomes achievable for them. Next thing, we reached the cultural experience post, and we want to know what was the biggest surprise or cultural difference that you realized as soon as you got to Italy, because Italy is a really rich culture when it comes to rich country when it comes to culture, but it's also very much different from Iran. So I wanted to know if anything caught your eye as soon as you got there, any cultural differences, something like that.
To be honest, any immigration, even if you go from your city to another city, is challenging. But the challenge can be good or bad. So, Yeah, there are some differences, as you say. Yeah, the first thing that I noticed is about the Italians, that they are very warm. No, I don't agree with you that they are very far culturally from Iranians. They are very warm-blooded. Like, I started to live in a dormitory with people. They talk with you every day. They don't leave you even. You have to literally push them. Enough talking. Enough like being with me. I don't. I want to go sleep. This is like one of the biggest thing. They're warm blooded and friendly. But another funny thing is that they are like us, like Iranians, a little bit even more like in the term of family and how they live with their families. If you arrive here and look close to the families of Italians, you see the guy has 30 years old and is still living with their parents, not going out. Yeah, they have very close bond to each other. And it's not like because they cannot afford it. They can afford it, but they prefer to be close. Like, I have colleagues who are 50 years old, 50, 60 years old. They every day go to their mom's house to eat the lunch with them.
Of course, such a
Still,
close
but this is a good part of it. But to go to the negative part for me is like, one of them is seeing the dogs in the street. People who have dog, yeah, of course it's very lovely, but some of them are a little, they don't understand that this street is for human too. When the dog passes and it makes a poop, you have to collect it. Of course 95% of the people collect the thing, but this 5% make the face of the city a little bit bad. There's also, in the term of homeless, going to Milan, the big city, not in where I live. Where I live is very good. In Milan, in the big city, you will see a little bit of homeless people living in the street, as we see also in Iran. But to know it before you move forward, don't think that it's all heaven. Yeah, it's good, but they have also their deficits.
of course.
Let me tell you also about their food.
Of course.
If you like foods, in Italy people eat lunch and talk about the dinner.
Oh wow!
It means that they are rich in the culture of food. They have many different pastas, pizzas, many different type of meats that they eat. So if you like eating and if you like cooking, you can come here, start learning how to cook other foods, of Italian foods. Of course I'm talking about, and they're all delicious. I enjoy them every day. But you can also having this experience of other countries' food. Thailand, Japanese, sushi. I'm talking about Lebanese, Mexican, African. Like, this is also something a little bit
Global, of course.
yeah, a little bit different. In where I was living, it was not there. It was not existing.
Of course, I think many famous worldwide dishes come from Italy, like the iconic pizza or the spaghetti. I think, yeah,
Pasta.
pasta. Yeah, they call it that. Of course, they're
Yeah.
also homeworld of Italy. Nice, really good. You know, you clarify many things for people because, unfortunately, there's a wrong mindset in Iran that the people who tend to immigrate have this belief that as soon as they get out of the airport, they're right in the heaven and there's 100% clarity and just, a straight up heaven. But that's such a wrong mindset, which leads people to
No,
misunderstanding.
no.
Of
That's
course,
a
yeah, many
mistake.
people tend to make it. All right, so we want to know if there was something that you still see difficult to adapt to, something that you really struggle to realize what even is this thing in this country, any cultural or any belief, any sort of activism that annoys you as an Iranian immigrant.
Yeah. As an first English speaker, I see it difficult for people, and of course for myself, the language barrier. The language here is not English. You see me here talking English because in the house I speak every day in English. But as soon as you go out of the house, you have to know another language, which is Italian. Italian is very beautiful language, but it's very wild, and you have to learn it. If you come here, you cannot be working only with English. After even 2-3 years of putting my effort to speak English, yeah, I speak it every day with people. I know a little bit of dialect also, but getting on with the people, sitting with them and talking about everyday life is still for me difficult. Like I cannot communicate that much good about the emotions. This is like a barrier still. They have, of course, also like Iran, they have different dialects from here to 50 kilometers south,
Of course,
east,
yeah.
north. You will find different dialects, but anyway, in the end, you understand if you put your effort. Other thing that you have to other thing that you have to consider is about the office work. Here the office work is not very good. Like if you start applying for a permit, residence permit, you will have to wait. You will have to wait, I don't know, half a year, 1 year to get the
Of
card.
course. So you.
It's
Oh,
not like other European countries. Like I know in Netherlands, you apply 3 days after you have it in hand. But here, the police work, the office work takes time. It's like Iran; they are lazy. They put all of the documents together in the other side of the room, and then one day they think, oh, we have to do it today. So they start to do a little bit. It's in every office, not only police. In the municipality, that when you need to card your identity card, it's the same. This is the difficulty for me, and I know some people who went away only because of this, because they were very tired of these things in Iran. They came somewhere else to have a better office work, a bit like faster office work, but they cannot get it, so they went somewhere else.
wow. So it varies from city to city. Is that right? I think some cities are quicker in terms of their office job, or am I wrong?
In the north, we would say in the north of Italy, the things are smoother. It's more European than the south of Italy. Like if you make a line from north and south, yeah, in the north is better, but even in the north, it's not like Northern European countries, Netherlands, England, these countries. They do it much faster, much more organized. I don't know, it's about the connection between their systems or about something else. But they don't like to do run. Italians are and Spanish people. They like to chill. They like to sit, drink, eat, and they don't want to work. That's their lifestyle. And if they earn enough money, they don't care about like the working that much. They care about living. Living is the most important part of their life.
Of course. And can you blame them actually for that? We want to know, as you were in Iran and deciding to do this immigration process, as you know, it was multiple years ago. We want to know, was there any moment in your journey that you decided to give up, or you thought it's the time to give up? And we want to know what was your motivation that kept you going, because it's a hard process, as you mentioned. Was there anything that frustrated you mostly in this path?
Yeah, you got to the good point. Like economically, I was not in a very good condition when I came here. For me, passing the first 2 3 years was a little bit difficult. I didn't have enough money to pay all of the expenses. Of course, I had the burst of study, but it was a little bit challenging. I like as soon as I arrived, I started to search for the job, but I was not finding it. That I didn't know the Italian language, and this was going to lead me toward leaving the country. But thanks God, I again, after some effort, found the job, and I said no, that's not the stuff for me. I thank here my dad and my family who brought me up very strong, and they taught me how to go and pass on all of the difficulties. In the end, I will say nothing will stop me from my road, and that's it.
Of course, that's the really good spirit that many people should have. But unfortunately, the separation with their families usually starts breaking some people. Unfortunately, after immigration. Now we want to know, as our audience should know, you took the educational route. Unlike some people who take the career route of immigration, you use the educational. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. That's correct.
So, how do you think your education has been affected since moving? Do you think it has gotten better in the Italian universities? Do you think this new opportunities rise, or do you think you would have the same educational path if you were in Ireland? Something affected?
As I was telling to you in the beginning of this interview, I was only searching for the good universities of the world. So I have a civil engineering background. I studied in Shahrud University in Iran. It was very good to study there. I know it. The professors were good. But what I experienced here in the University of Milan is completely different. International students, very big campus in English language. They all combine together. You also have laboratory life, professors who are always available for the questions, and their knowledge is, you see them on the top of the market, on the top of the market of the study. You see they have published a lot of different papers, and this shows you that you are studying in a good place. I studied the environmental engineering here in Italy, in Polytechnic. I believe that they really taught me good. I know very good about my field. I'm ready to do whatever the career asks me. And because of this, I could get a very good job very fast, because the university taught me what I needed to know, and they also helped me in the end with the thesis, and they pushed me even toward the work.
Of course, so you are fully satisfied. It seems. It seems that was a great choice in terms of education as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Like in the beginning, I had a little bit of difficulty with the English, as everybody can have, because being in a completely new environment with a little bit of dialect of professors in Italian, they speak English, but they have the dialect. So you have to adopt with them. How do they talk? What does this word mean? But in the end, you arrive to the point that you understand, oh, this professor knows a lot. You understand it, you feel it by yourself. The other one the same. Then when they asked you to do some homework. Not homework, like they ask you to go study, do researches, do programming. When you put it with them on the table and you show it to them, you understand that they know a lot. They talk about what you did, they bring it up, and they can add up the different parts of the study to you, so it will be easier for you. The laboratory I worked was very amazing. They have different machines there that can help you push the science forward. Even like
Of course.
they work on new methods of the working of the science which doesn't exist. They want to push everything forward, and this is a big opportunity, because the companies are searching for people like this who know a lot and who can help them push their technologies further to be able to earn money. So if they earn money, you also earn money.
Wow. So they pay you for your new inventions. Of course, they value you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have that in Iran. Yeah. Our efforts go underpaid. That's beside, as you know, for anyone who lives in Iran and has this dream of being actually appreciated for once for his efforts, which will not be granted. We want to know that what are because one of the biggest worries, as you know, the Iranian currency these days is not tolerating the best times. It's extremely unvaluable and it's completely like it's not even comparable to dollar or euro, and that causes a really great issue for the people who want to immigrate, because as soon as they change the currency from real to dollar or euros, they just completely get disappointed. So how are the expenses? As we did some research and realized that Germany pays some, like the first 2 months of rent, it gives you some money to have there. You have to prepay, I think, 14,000 euros before you go, and some stuff like that, some process like that. We want to know how it's in Italy. Is it overwhelming these days, or you think the people can tolerate it? And how is the life expenses generally?
Okay. Any steps toward immigration, wherever you want to go, you need a little bit of money. You cannot be thinking that I go somewhere and I don't spend anything. No, it's not correct. But the good thing is that here on many countries, they value your study. They see like you are helping them, so they put money in front of you for you to be able to study. Here in Italy, the government funds you to study. Of course, they don't give immediately the money from the first day to you. You have to have a base like how to have some budget yourself, and they start paying to you from the second semester of your study. If you study good, they will continue. If you pass your courses, they continue to pay to you. They even give their money pocket money to you to be able to go out. So that's good. But to go back to the question, this first semester that you need to cover yourself is, in my idea, is around 6,000, 7,000 euros, which is equal to 400.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the reason is that our currency is not that much good to support it. But have in mind, this money that I was talking about, 7,000, will be refunded in some part, like 2-3 thousands of it will come back to you as soon as you pass your studies. The university will give back the money that you paid for the administrative fee, and they will appreciate what you studied. But anyway, you have to have it in hand to arrive here.
Yeah, exactly. So for the first semester, you have to cover it yourself. Is that right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Of course. So imagine someone has immigrated really soon, like a week ago, and he has arrived. We want to know how are the life expenses, like the rent. We want to know about the general, housing, the groceries. We want to know how is that. Can you save? Imagine you have 1,000 euros for each month.
Okay. Yeah, if you have 1,000, of course you can live in Milan also. The only thing that you have to have in mind is that you cannot rent a complete house. You have to rent a room in a house with other students, or you have to go to the dormitory as I went, which I also suggest to people who aren't newcomers. At least in this situation, you get to know international students, you get to know Italians, you get friends. This is the most important part, because as soon as you go out of university, finding friends, it will be difficult. So you have to make like communications with other people. But going back to the question, is 1,000 euros, I think would be enough for me. Maybe around 1,000, a little even less. If you rent a room, you will pay around 400 or 500 with the expenses of eating and other like insurance, I don't know, paying for the SIM card.
Accommodations.
Yeah, you will reach to 700-800.
Oh, so you can even save at some point.
Yeah, it depends on your lifestyle, of course. If you eat, I don't know, if you go to a restaurant to eat every day, no. But if you know how to cook and you eat with your friends, this is a saving. Like I was living like this myself, and I'm happy that I went to the kitchen of the dormitory and sat there and talked with people. I have friends now from that time, so it's not a lose to cook or to not to go to the restaurant, but it's a gain, and gain of money, of course. This is the other important part.
Of course, so thank you for your deliberate answer. We move on to the next section, which is social life. We want to know if your relationship with your family and friends was affected by this immigration. Do you have like seeing them, or isn't that right? Like, did it bother you, or you weren't that connected and didn't have such a strong bond? And we want to know that finding new connections in Italy was easy with people, or no? You think it's a difficult task?
To be honest, the most difficult part of the immigration is this. It has a lot of advantages, but getting away from family and friends, like I have even now the tears that want to go out. But the family are a very big part of my heart. The friends that I have, my cousins, I left them all behind to get this advantage in another country for my future and the future of my family. It was difficult. Now I still have connection with them. Like I call my parents every day. I talk with my cousin and friends once a while, but it's not like before anymore. I lost like most of the connection. We don't go out, we don't hang out anymore. But in the other hand, you can find how international friends. You can have also Iranian friends here. Of course, they are not close to you as you had friends in Iran, but if you want, you can make connections. In the Polytechnic University of Milan, there are many Iranians. In my class, I think we were 10 Iranians. So if they are good people, you can make connection with them. If not, other nationalities. Spanish are very warm-blooded people. They want to communicate. Italians also. I had friends from different parts of the continent, the world, and I'm happy of that. I'm still in contact with them. Some of them went away, but the ones who are here, we still see each other. We hang out, we go swim sometime, we go to mountain climbing. And that's amazing about this part.
So you mentioned that the Spanish people and the Italian people are warm-blooded and kind. We want to ask you something. Have you ever realized or found out about some group of regions that are colder, like they are colder than these regions that you mentioned? Some people from countries that they are, they a bit more. It's a bit more difficult
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make connections with
that's
them.
a
Do you know any
good
countries like
question to
that, or
know. Like the eastern part of the Asia, Chinese and Koreans are a little bit more closed. I think that was because they couldn't speak English that much good, so they were only communicating between each others and not with others. But on the other case, the cold-blooded people are very famous. I mean, you know, most probably Germans and people from Netherlands are living different. They work more hard. They are more serious about life. So they don't have this living part like Italian and the Spanish people. They are more strict about the rules of the life. If they see a
okay.
sign of 50 kilometers per hour, they immediately go from 100 to 50. But here in Italy, people like don't care. It's like here are like people like even when they are driving like motors, can they talk with each other?
Of course. Yeah, well, this regional difference. One of the biggest. Okay.
It's it's dependent on the temperature of the country. I wanted to say, like, if you go more to south of the earth toward the pole, toward the northern European countries, you will get the cold-blooded people, and your social life will be affected by that. If you go more to south, you earn a little bit less of money, but the quality of life, in terms of social life, I'm talking not about the
Mm,
economical part, is more chill, more fun.
of course.
I like this way much better. I don't like to earn more money and not having the friends or having the hangouts with friends there.
So you think it's a thing that is related to character mostly? Is that right? I think it depends on the person. Some people are not so sociable; they rather earn more money. All right, that's okay. One concern that is given to me by many of my friends or the other people who tend to immigrate these days, and we also asked our other people that we interviewed, and they actually verified it, is that the Iranians who commit the immigration path, they say do not trust other Iranian peoples in the countries that you arrive. They say most of them tend to do the scam, or they are not that warm-blooded. And some people think that as soon as they get to a foreign country and they meet a person from their own region, it's going to be the strongest relationship ever, but they realize that no, making a relationship with them was a bad mistake. Or you think, is that right or not? Do you verify that?
Unfortunately, you heard it right. There are some people who are living like this and who don't appreciate the countrymen. But I would say, in general, it's not the correct thing. I have a lot of Iranian friends who I hang out still with, and they are very friendly. Of course, they are from different backgrounds. Maybe you will not have the same friends with the same characteristic that you had in Iran, but that's it. You came to a new country, you will have new type of people, and you have to adapt with it. Don't search for the people who are problematic. The problematic people are from all of the
Mhm.
countries, but it's a mistake that we say Iranians are not good, cannot be trusted, because this saying will spread not only on us Iranian. We don't know it only. It also will be heard by
Of
other
course, yeah.
countries, and they will not trust us. People of Iran, please, whoever see this, create the trust between each other, help each other in this difficult situation. You're far from your country and your family. Who can help you is you, and who knows you a little bit better.
Of course.
So
So you have to
this
be
is my
careful after all.
suggestion. Yes, search for the good people who have the good character, who have a kind heart. Don't go toward the people who want to rob you, scam you. Yeah, they are there. unfortunately.
So, the last question of this part is that after living years in Italy and gaining the cultural experience, learning a language, meeting the people, we want to know if you feel belonging to the country or you still feel as a second rated citizen. That's one of the biggest worries that even stops people, prevents people from immigration. They think that it doesn't matter how many years they live in the foreign country, they will never be as associated and accepted in the culture as much as the original people who live there. So, how do you think about that? Or are you being treated this in second-handed, or have you ever encountered any act of racism against you, or no? You think the warming-blooded people will prevent that?
Yes, as I was saying, answering also the other question, there are cases of racism, and you will encounter it for sure because this type of people exist everywhere. But looking to the developed countries like Italy, like Germany, the parts which are having more immigrants, going to them, you will have a lot of internationals that somebody cannot come say I'm Italian, you are not Italian, or I'm German, you are not German, because they are mixed already. There are a lot of families like the marriages happen between Iranian Italian, between Italian Mexican, Italian African. So you have the passport. When you have the passport, they cannot say to you, you are not Italian. You're Italian as the same as them. Yeah, maybe your color of the skin is different. But what I wanted to summarize in the end is that in Italy, the racism is very low. Is very low. You will not maybe even notice it, but yeah, 1-2% in the street, somebody will say to you, "Go back home," but you should not see this one. You should not see. You should not pay attention. Maybe even in Iran, somebody will say to you, "Go find the house somewhere else," as they said in the TV. Go find the house somewhere else. But this people is not educated. This person is not the one that you have to see. You have to see the people who can help, who can push the society toward forward, and that's the case in Italy. Very low. People are international. Life is good, and you'll enjoy it for sure.
Of course, thank you for that answer. Next question, we get to the partnership of you. We just want to have a really little question that maybe worries some people that want to immigrate. You are married, is that right?
Yes, happily.
Of course. So, among the people who tend to immigrate, there's like a big question that they have, one of the big worries. Because as you know, marriage and the romantic life is one of the parts of their normal life. So, my question is that, as you know, many people fear the multicultural marriage, and they fear that this might not work out as it should for them and it might cause problem. So, as someone who has already committed to this and you look satisfied and, as you mentioned, happily married, we want to know what is your opinion about that.
I had this idea of mixing blood and mixing culture from some years back. So I was thinking about it. Uh, I was thinking that this can lead the society towards something much better, as the mixing of genes can lead to development. This was my first idea, but aside from this, I wanted to enjoy other culture. I wanted to enjoy the girl from another country. So what I did is like I got to know my wife, and we got along to know each other a little bit better. Of course, we have the difference in the language and in the culture, but it not doesn't make it difficult for us to communicate. Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult to put the emotions and talk, but it, as you know, it happens also from the people from for the people from the same cities. The difficulty is only a thing about this cultural thing, but if you want to experience something like me, you have to be very open. First of all, you have to accept you may see something which is like for you is a restricted thing not to do, but for the other country is okay. They for them is something very legal and they enjoy it. So you have to understand that these cultural differences should not make you separated. We humanities, we get married to each other to learn new things, to develop and to be mature. This is the important thing. So if you ever thought about going and marrying or going to relationship with the girls from other countries, open your heart and open your mind and see everything very good. Don't try person who cannot see different sides of the things. Open your heart.
That totally makes sense that you have to lighten up your mind when you want to get married to someone as a foreigner because they have their own culture and mindset, so you can't really expect them to follow up on what you have on your mind. That makes total sense. But off to the next question. As you know, Iranians have a really, really deliberate culture and they are so close to their families and they have a really hefty bond with their family. And my question here is that as someone who has immigrated already, do you think going abroad and just leaving your culture behind, the culture that you have lived with like for 2 decades or more, do you think can that put you in a disturbing situation or can that break you? What do you think about that?
This is a very general question, but you have to see the person's favor, like what the person likes. Some people cannot leave their families. Some people cannot leave their friends. Some people want to be in the society who only talks Persian. So for these people, I don't suggest going abroad because they will find it difficult. Maybe there are some times you even don't have one Iranian around you and you have to cope with it. But for the people who want to develop, who want to have a new lifestyle, they want to change their future to something different. They want to earn more money, let's say they want to travel to different countries, to learn new cultural things, to eat new foods. I would definitely suggest it. I already suggested to many of my friends and my cousin. Here I have even friends from the same university, from the same high school who came here to study. I helped them for their studies and of course it's their own effort. I don't say that I did anything for them, but I showed them the way that it's like you can do it like this easier, and it's very very good to have these friends around me. I suggest also to the others who are open-minded to these things that I mentioned to come and experience it. Even if you don't want to live in abroad, you can come study, gain the knowledge and go back in the country. I hope that you will find the opportunities there, but this experience will give you a lot. It will really give you a lot. You will not only speaking two languages, you will have the science, you will have the degree, the certificate that you have, and this will help you in the life a lot. Go on with that.
So last but not least, the last question that we have from you is that, as you might know, we always ask this question from all the participants who take place in the Hejrino talk as our last question, and that is one of the most important questions that we actually tend to ask, is that generally what advices you have for people who want to follow your footsteps. What do you think? What can you tell them? It can be one advice, it can be multiple, something that can really change their path and help them. We want to know about that.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. That's the first part. Then study English. Wherever you want to study, English is the most important. If you have 18 years old, 17 years old, or even you have more, start learning English. That will help you even if you don't migrate to another country, you will use it somewhere. If you want to overcome the past, which I did by my own and the help of the people, you can do the same. You can go to the people, ask them, how did you pass this way? How did you reach to the university? Like, asking is not a bad thing. Not knowing is a bad thing. If people can help you to find the university, people can help you to apply for the burst of study, people can help you to get visa, even they can help you buy the ticket. And it goes on the lifestyle. People can help you to find the house. Do this one. Study well, Be careful not to go for the studies that you don't like. Here in developed countries, you can work as what you want. See what you like. Don't go because of the thought of the parents, of the friends. I don't know. Don't think that civil engineering, for example, is a very good thing that they people think is good. See, go study and feel the things with your hands, with your mind, and understand what you like. What you like is much the most important thing, and go choose that one. You will find job for it for sure, 100%. I assure to you.
Of course. So that's it. Thank you very much for participating in the second installment of the Hejrino series.
You're welcome.
It was a delight to have you. Many questions were answered. I know that many people in Iran are considering Italy as their immigration destination. So we really appreciate that. And this is the end. And if there's any question left, you can leave them in the comment section and they will be answered personally by our staff. Thank you very much for participating. But before we go, if there's any goodbyes, you can have one with our audience.
I'm very pleased and I'm very happy to to share this experience. If I was not clear in some parts, I'm sorry. I tried my best to be clear about all of the past, but I hope that you will find this road very easy for yourself. I hope that we met cross paths somewhere. See you soon. Bye bye.